Assalamu alaikum and good morning, students. This is Dr. Aisha Iqbal, and I hope you all are doing fine and putting your heart and soul in distant learning, especially staying much positive during this difficult time. And today we are going to study first pass effect. Previously, you have done biotransformation and metabolism by Dr. Mariam Pracha. So let's start our lecture with the recitation of Holy Quran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
The learning objectives from today's lecture are that you should know the proper definition of first pass effect, you should have a clear concept, and you should know the examples for first pass effect drugs. So I'll be asking a few questions in between the lecture and a few questions at the end of the lecture. That will be considered as your assignment and attendance for this lecture. So please note down and make an assignment of those questions and submit it in your group. First pass effect is also known as pre-systemic metabolism or first pass metabolism. So do not confuse these words. You are going to see this in your book. The definition of first pass effect is very important. I have highlighted the key words in this definition. I want you to look at these highlighted words so you can easily learn the definition. Let's start reading it. It is the pre-systemic, extensive or rapid metabolism of a drug or prodrug when given orally while passing through the metabolic sites present in GIT or liver for the first time, leading to decreased therapeutic bioavailability. Here you can see pre-systemic metabolism is highlighted. So what does pre-systemic metabolism means? It means that the metabolism of a drug before it reaches the systemic circulation while given orally and passing through the metabolic sites where there are certain enzymes in liver and GIT which metabolizes the drug, and therefore there is decreased bioavailability of the drug. So this is a process in which you take the drug orally or by mouth and it is absorbed in the GIT, transported via portal vein system to liver where it is metabolized through certain enzymes, and as a result a small portion of drug reaches the systemic circulation and its target tissues, which means there is decreased concentration of the drug and ultimately there will be a reduced effect or a compromised effect of the drug, right? This is the first pass effect. This diagram shows a comparison between a drug taken orally and a drug given intravenously. You can see when a drug is given by mouth, while it reaches the bloodstream, it is already a partially dissolved tablet. While when any drug given intravenously, it goes directly into the bloodstream and it is absorbed directly into the systemic circulation. So this way you can say the drug given by mouth or orally has a first pass effect. Hence it is a phenomenon of drug metabolism where concentration of a drug is greatly reduced before it reaches the systemic circulation. When you take a drug orally, it is swallowed and absorbed by the digestive system and then enters the hepatic portal system where it is carried through the portal vein into the liver before it reaches the rest of the body. And liver is also known as the major factory of metabolism. Therefore, there is less drug in the systemic or blood circulation and it causes a reduced bioavailability of the drug in the body, which is also known as subtherapeutic bioavailability. So students, as we discussed that liver is the major factory of metabolism, and liver metabolizes many drugs, sometimes to such an extent that only a small amount of drug emerges from the liver to the rest of the circulatory system, which means there is reduced bioavailability of that drug. Drugs with high first pass effect have a considerably higher oral dose than sublingual or parenteral dose. Why is that so? We increase the dose because you want the required amount of drug to reach the systemic circulation and intended target sites, right? So there is a marked individual variation in the oral dose due to differences in the extent of first pass metabolism, which means that the extent of first pass metabolism differ in different drugs. So students, now the question arises that how can we avoid the first pass effect so that the required amount of drug reaches the systemic circulation and the target tissue? We have basically three ways. Let's discuss them. First is that we change the route of administration. Second, we increase the dose of the drug. And the third is enzyme inhibitor. Now just imagine, I'll give you an example that if you're going to some destination and on your way you know that there are criminals who can harm you. So you have three ways, you have just three choices. Either you change the route, as to avoid the first pass effect, you're going to change the route of the drug. So to avoid the criminals, either you change the route. Second, you take more people with you to fight back, which in first pass effect is to increase the dose of the drug. And the third option is you take the cops or the police with you to fight back. That is the enzyme inhibitor in case of first pass effect. The enzyme inhibitor, that is the one that fight back so that the required amount of drug can reach the target tissue. This is one way that you can remember the steps to avoid first pass effect. The first one is change the route of administration. We know that the first pass effect occurs when we take the drug orally. So there are alternative routes of administration that we can use, like intravenous, intramuscular, inhalational aerosol, transdermal, and sublingual to avoid the first pass effect. One example is nitroglycerin given sublingually. Sublingual nitroglycerin is given in acute anginal pain so that it bypasses the first pass effect and directly absorbs and goes to the systemic circulation. Second way is to increase the dose of the drug. So you give a larger dose of the drug so that you have more amount of the drug that reaches the systemic circulation and have the effect on the target tissue. The example for that is propranolol and morphine. So the third way is by giving enzyme inhibitor. The levodopa is given with carbidopa, which blocks the enzyme dopa decarboxylase, and ultimately that bypasses the first pass effect. These are the drugs that experience a significant first pass effect. Just have a look at them. And we have already discussed a few important drugs, so you need to remember all the examples. A few more questions that I'm going to ask you, along with the previous questions that already have been asked. You have to give the assignment of these questions as well. What is drug metabolism? The other question is which route has 100% bioavailability? And how you can avoid first pass effect along with examples. These are your assignment questions, and now you are free to ask any question in the group to me or any of the teacher, or just take care of yourself. And thank you very much for listening, and I hope you guys have a good time and submit your assignment on time. Allah Hafiz.